This video describes the sunflower plot. It's new in Statgraphics 18. Sunflower plots replace XY scatter plots when you're working with big data. While isolated points are still shown as separate point symbols, locations in which many points fall are shown as colored hexagons with rays. Both the color of the hexagon and the number of rays indicates how many points lie near a particular location. They look like sunflowers, hence the name. In the plot you see here, the hexagons in blue indicate the locations where the points are most dense. You see a few hexagons, blue hexagons with many rays, indicating the presence of many observations. To create a sunflower plot, we first divide the XY space into a grid of hexagonal regions. We then look separately at each hexagonal region. Let's let M be the number of observations in a particular region. If M is less than 3, we plot a separate point for each observation in the region. If M is between 3 and 10, we fill the hexagonal region with color number 1. For each observation, we also draw a ray from the center of the region to the edge of the hexagon. If M is between 11 and 94, we fill the hexagon with color number 2. We then draw a ray for every 7 observations in the hexagon. If M is between 95 and 658, we fill the hexagon with color number 3 and draw a ray for every 49 observations in the region. If M is greater or equal to 659, then we fill the hexagon with color number 4 and draw a ray for every 343 observations in that hexagonal region. As an example, I've loaded into the Statgraphics 18 datasheet a file called Framingham Heart Study. It contains 11,627 rows with information about a large number of patients. It has information, for example, about their gender, their total cholesterol, their age, their blood pressure, whether they were smokers, and so forth. Suppose I wish to plot systolic blood pressure versus diastolic blood pressure. A common way to do that would be to create an XY scatter plot. I might put systolic blood pressure on the y-axis and diastolic blood pressure on the x-axis. That would be enough to show me that there's a fairly strong relationship between those variables. But it wouldn't show me very well where the observations were most dense. So let's do a sunflower plot instead. Let's go up to the Statlets menu, to Data Exploration, and select Sunflower Plot. I'll put the systolic blood pressure on the y-axis, the diastolic blood pressure on the x-axis, and there's my sunflower. There are a number of controls on the Statlet toolbar that I can change. One controls the number of hexagonal regions along each of the axes. I can either increase it or decrease it if I like. I can also change the minimum bin frequency. That's the minimum number of observations that need to fall within a hexagonal region before I start coloring it. Finally, I can ask it to randomize the angle of the rays, which are sometimes called the petals. That'll give me a slightly different picture each time I do it. Sunflowers are a very useful alternative to XY scatter plots when you have a large amount of data.